This will be our last session for the year, which tends to be often focused on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I'm really excited for this topic. First off, a little bit about me. I am Alana Davis, your host and Meetup organizer. I work with e-commerce shops to remove friction from the buying process. Now, my focus really is on rescuing Shopify websites, making them more effective in attracting more visitors, providing better SEO, and increasing conversion rates, all at a fraction of the cost of a full redesign. This is a quick look at our agenda for today. This session is being recorded, so assuming that everything works, I will be sharing the video in the next day or so. Typically, I can have it out before end of day today, but there are definitely times where the recording doesn't work. So if that's the case, I will absolutely let you know. First, a quick shout out to our sponsors. So Jason LD for SEO transforms your SEO with rich results, a program that allows you to show search enhancements such as review stars, price, availability, all in Google search, Bing, Pinterest, and other search engines. And then, of course, we all know Shopify. It's more than just an e-commerce solution. You can sell anywhere to anyone with e-commerce platform and point of sale features. And I am going to put their links in the chat for you so that if you are curious, you will be able to take a look. All right. And then coming up next, we do have a meetup currently scheduled for January 24th. And our speaker will be chatting with us about the importance of web accessibility on Shopify, accessibility apps, and how you can make accessibility a priority. Now, this is one that is near and dear to my heart, so I am so stoked for this one. So registration will open up in January. So be on the lookout for that email in the coming months. Or if you're not subscribed already to my newsletter, check back on my website as I'll also be posting the details there. And we've also had some requests for more live site reviews. So I'll do another session on that in the new year as well. I'm just not sure exactly when yet. But if you do have topics that you want to make sure that we talk about or areas you want me to explore, please let me know in the feedback request that you're going to receive hopefully today along with the recording. This also helps me to know what's working well or not so that I can make sure that we're providing you a valuable resource. All right, without further ado, I want to welcome back our speaker for today, Emmanuel, who was with us, I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. Today, Emmanuel is going to be sharing how you can make the most money this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and I'm super stoked. So welcome, Emmanuel.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Thank you, Alana. I appreciate it. So yeah, like Alana mentioned, I'm Emmanuel Eleyae from Eleyae Systems, where we build systems that build brands online and help e-commerce entrepreneurs go from 10,000 a month to 100,000 a month to $1 million a month in revenue without wasting a fortune on ad spend or working themselves to death to do it. We know because we've done it ourselves. We built our own $30 million business, it's $5 million a year business. We've done over $30 million in the last several years. And now I help with my agency, other people doing the same thing. And so one of the things that we are proud of or known for is our systems. So we named it Eleyae Systems. We're big on systems and repeatability. And the most obvious time frame when those systems come into play is during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I'm going to give you an overview of how you can make the most money, things we've learned to make Black Friday the smoothest it can be. So I'm going to start off by showing where it all began. Let me share with you. Back in 2016, we started to pay attention to this. And we made $94,000 in one day, which absolutely blew my mind. I've never, ever had seen that much money come through at once. And let me make sure, can you see my screen right now?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So I had never seen that much. And it was huge for us, especially for a business. At that time, we had never done as much as $10,000 in a day. So this was a huge day. It was an amazing, wonderful day. However, it was chaotic. I mean, that Black Friday, I finished having turkey at my family's house. And then at midnight, I was up, right, ready, watching the screens. I worked for 24 straight hours. I was watching on the news, like all the fights of people in the Walmart checkout and Target checkout fighting over product while I'm helping the customer service team, shipping teams, and dealing with the marketing teams and all that. It was just flat out chaotic, right? All that whole day, every hour on the hour, just to get there. And, but it was worth it because we went from making 1 to 10K a day to having a 94K day. The following year in 2017, same thing. Wake up at midnight and work 24 hours straight, watching the news, seeing all the fights in the checkout lines, shipping product like crazy all day, the chaos of having to sleep at my desk, for a few minutes here and there, just trying to stay awake, the customer service headaches of just people dealing with the discount coupons and just trying to get through. It was a struggle. And then the ads and the marketing campaigns and making it all work. But you know what? It worked because we ended up with $116,000, an even bigger day than before. And then 2018 came around, same thing, shipping product like crazy, wake up at midnight, waking for 24 hours, watching the news, watching the fights, dealing with customer service and dealing with the marketing. But we landed at 49,000 instead of 116,000. I mean, it was devastating. It was rough. All of that chaos, all of that stress, everything just like normal. And we failed. We did half as much revenue that year as we had done the year before. I mean, all the things that could go wrong went wrong. Everything. Customer service was piling up. We're out of stock on our best sellers. The campaigns that went out for marketing, the links were wrong, right? Things were broken. The shipping and the fulfillment team was swamped. Our ads were not doing well, and we were getting the highest cost per clicks we had ever gotten. And we we're just flat out running out of inventory. I mean, it was just awful, right? And it was a horrible, horrible experience. And that was before in 2019, right? That's how we got to where we learned the lessons I'm going to talk to you about, right? The question becomes, how did we do in 2019, right? If 2018 was such a departure, were we able to come back and succeed? I'll tell you, on noon on Black Friday, 2019, my alarm didn't even go off, right? And the first thought I had was panic, because every Black Friday before that, I had woken up at midnight and worked 24 hours straight, helped the customer service team, helped the shipping team, helped them all, but I wasn't awake. It was noon already. Half the day is gone. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Well, I remembered, thankfully, I actually hadn't set my alarm. I never set it because we had finally implemented the right systems. And to be honest, that day, all I did was I woke up at noon, I checked my Shopify account a couple of times that day, hung out with my family, ate some leftovers. I just basically relaxed and enjoyed the holiday that whole weekend. And my business, it ran itself. So how did we do? So granted, that was nice. You had a wonderful 2019 holiday weekend. But years before, we saw we got cut in half the year before that, which would had two massive record-breaking years, 116,000, 94,000. But here we are, 2019, and I'm just chillaxing. How much did we make? I'll tell you, we made $208,932 in a single day. It was insane. But more importantly, I didn't have to wake up at midnight, stay up all day. I didn't have to constantly be down dealing with customer service and shipping and all the headaches. I had a fully automated business. This is the dream of e-commerce, right? A business that runs itself while it's scaling rapidly. And not just for Black Friday or Cyber Monday, for all year round. That's the dream. This is what we want. So what made the difference? That's what we're here to talk about today. That's what we're going over. These are the lessons that we learned that I'm going to share with you today. And so first, let's take a look at how do we even get into this problem and situation in the first place, right? How do most e-commerce entrepreneurs handle scaling rapidly? When you've decided, you know what, it's time for us to grow. I want to make more money in my business. I'm not satisfied with where I am. I want to scale rapidly. What do we normally do? Well, we try a bunch of things. We experiment with different promotions, different offers, coupons. Let's see what's going to work. We pursue different marketing channels. We compare different shipping and fulfillment options, how we actually get product to customers. And we try lots of different team members and helpers, right? We try to do things differently because we think that'll solve it. And we develop lots of different products, right? If this one's selling, we need more, or different variations or different SKUs. Right? These are the typical solutions. They try things. That's what most e-commerce entrepreneurs do. However, this is a deeply flawed approach, right? And more importantly, it's the reason why my business tanked Black Friday 2018. back in 2018, we were the most extreme triers, if you will, trying things. Our promotion that we ran that year was a 12 days of Christmas promotion. We literally had a different promotion every single day for 12 days. That's after the previous promotion for the November promotion and the Christmas promotion after the 12 days of Christmas ended. Yeah, every single day, a new promotion, right? And it was extremely stressful for the team, right? That meant that every day the warehouse was shipping different products. The marketing team was advertising different products. We had different content that was being set up. The email people were sending different things out. We were trying all kinds of different things, and it was just flat out, it added even more chaos to an already chaotic environment. And that's why we failed, right? Customer service was getting blown up, right, every day, because it was like, wait, did the coupon work? I'm trying to use a coupon, it's not going through. Oh, that's because that was yesterday's promotion, it expired. We'll credit you. I mean, it was just flat out chaotic. So it taught me a very, very valuable lesson and led me to this realization. The success of e-commerce brands that create and distribute products is entirely dependent on their ability to fulfill an ever-increasing number of orders. Therefore, we can shorten this to say our success is determinant on scalability, how well we're able to scale. So it begs the question, what is it that ultimately solves the scalability problem, right? Let me give you an example of how it looks in practice. So we had a hair care client show up, and their goal was to get to six-figure months. They were stuck at about 30,000 a month in revenue and just couldn't quite crack the code on growth. And they at best had done 30,000 a month. They kept running out of inventory. They had this huge backlog of orders, but it was causing customers to be enraged and just angry with them about not shipping product out faster or not responding fast enough. And worse, even with all this going on and the stress, they weren't working weekends. They weren't taking vacations. They were frustrated. We implemented the systems that I'm teaching you today, and afterwards, they hit their first six-figure month during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. They were finally able to get caught up and fulfill their orders. So it was, over the summer, they were doing about 30K, but by the time we got through all our systems, they were doing six-figure months. They were fulfilling their orders. They were caught up. So that meant there was no enraged customers. They were happy. This client was doing well. So obviously the question is, well, what did you guys do? What happened? So here's a couple of things we did. For them specifically, they just kept running out of their best sellers. I was like, look, what a lot of us get in the habit of doing is, if we have 10 different SKUs and only 2 of them sell the fastest, when we go to order more, we'll order all 10 different SKUs. Even if it's just the MLQ, we'll order more of the fast moving one, but we'll order all 10. That's a trap, right? Instead of doing that, we should order all 10. We should order the top 2 and never run out of those, right? So we stocked up. We had them order an inordinate amount more of their best sellers than anything else. And then we reused their old supplier, right? So instead of trying new suppliers like they had been trying all kinds of new different vendors, we just went to the ones that were working, reliable, even though that person was a little more expensive. Because remember, our goal was to scale, and we didn't want to keep failing. So that fixed the problem. And then we focused on marketing campaigns that worked, right? They were trying to do percentage discounts, 10% off, 20% off, but we pointed to the combo SKU that was never advertised, was on their website, that a combo pack. People were buying them even without being marketed. No emails were going out about it, no ads about it, nothing. So we're like, why don't we make that the discount? So we tried that and it worked gangbusters, because now it allowed us to get a better quality of customer. Instead of 10% off, we're looking for discount seekers. We're finding people who want a bigger combo, raising the average order value. Instead of 20% off $100, you get $80. You give buy one, get one, or buy one, get one 50% off, right? Or a combo pack for $150. You get people who want more of the stuff that you sell. So that worked really well. And then once we had all the systems dialed in on the operations side and the repeat marketing side, like email, the back-end sales side, then we just cranked up the ads. So in the past, the client had tried a lot of different ads. They were constantly changing out their creatives, their copy, their audiences. We just focused on what worked and we scaled it up. It worked gangbusters, right? The question becomes, all right, I get it. Those all, for the most part, for all of us, seem somewhat intuitive, but why did these things make such a big difference, right? And here's the conclusion I've come to. Whether we're automating a process, delegating a task, or defining the proof of concept of a marketing campaign, each of these things has something significant in common. They are repeatable, right? That's what makes them so special, but also makes them so elusive to us as e-commerce entrepreneurs, because most e-commerce entrepreneurs believe that scalability comes from trying new things. That's actually backwards. Scalability comes not from what we're able to try, but what we're able to repeat. So let's go back to 2019. Let's look at what we did in 2009 that made us successful, right? We remember the 2018, how chaotic and miserable that was. We were running out of inventory, all the negative stuff. But 2019, why did we hit 208,000 instead of 49,000 from the year before? Well, we focused on our black and gray slap bestsellers. And this time we ordered enough. The year before, we had kept running out of our best-selling product that represented 50% of our sales. So just imagine, of that 208,000, over 100,000 of that revenue came from black and gray. Well, in years prior, we never would have ordered $100,000 in one day worth of black and gray slaps before, because I was too scary to put all our eggs in that basket. It was a scary idea. This year we didn't. We knew that we were going to focus on the best sellers, right? And we ordered so that we can sell the most of that as possible. It was a massive order on just those two, a big bet, but we knew it would work because these were our best sellers. We focused on BOGO marketing campaigns that worked in the past. So instead of trying 12 days of Christmas and trying a lot of different new offers and trying to keep people interested in offers that will be interesting and unique and different, we just worked with what was working. I mean, we were doing a BOGO basically once a quarter and it worked every time. We were just like, why don't we just do that again? It's tried and true, it's proven, and it worked again, right? And then we forecasted warehouse staffing capacity per day, right? So a lot of people don't even pay attention to their staffing capacity. What I mean by this is, how much can your warehouse ship? So if that 208,000 in revenue represented, let's say, 10,000 orders, 20,000 orders, can you ship all that in one day? Probably not. So you need to plan how much you can ship per day and get a rate. If we can ship 1,000 a day, well, that's 10 days worth of orders that we had gotten in that one day. But by having that set up, we knew, okay, we don't want to be backed up for 10 days because there's going to be more sales coming in. So we staffed up enough to have enough capacity for, let's say, 5,000 orders a day. So we brought in temporary help to help us over the weekend. And so then we can get that 10,000 order backlog cleared out in 2 days because we knew our capacity, right? And then we did the same thing for customer service, right? Instead of looking at it as, oh, we're going to have a bunch more customer service and let's just, let's have someone else there. We actually took a look at our customer service rate, if you will, and we came up with a capacity. So when we had 1,000 orders, we'd have 100 tickets, right? So that's what was in the past. So now we have a 10x, right, rate, right? So if we have 1,000 orders, we have 100 tickets. That's just an estimate. So if we have 10,000 orders, we'll have 1,000 tickets, should be the estimate, So if I'm forecasting and planning to have 10,000 orders, I know I'm going to have 1,000 tickets. And if it takes me 100 tickets, if I can do 100 tickets a day, that's going to be a 10-day backlog. Well, guess what? I'll need 10 customer service reps. That may seem like a lot, but just think about it. It's good to know that in advance rather than after, when you have that 1,000 ticket backlog and you're stressed out because there was only one person over there the whole time, which is normally what happens 90% of the time. We don't staff it early enough. So by doing all these things in 2019, that led us to the 208,000 in revenue, right? And it was a very smooth environment. The customer service reps had enough, even a little overstaffed. They were kind of bored. The shipping and fulfillment team, same thing. They had plenty of staffing. It was a lot of work, but there were a lot of people to help do the work. The marketing team had it super easy, right? They didn't have to have a bunch of different campaigns. They had one campaign. In fact, a lot of the creative and content was already made because we'd done BOGOs before. So they weren't overworked and stressed that weekend. Everyone was taking time off that weekend, right? And then the sales went through the roof and we could handle it while not calling in overtime, not working people extra, and just watching the sales roll in. So How might you take this idea of repeatability and apply it to your business? This is what I like to call the 8 pillars of scalability. First, you focus on proven offers, right? And there's 4 marketing ones as well as 4 ops ones. Focus on proven offers, right? Don't try anything new. Try use what has worked. Then focus on proven marketing channels, things that have worked before. This is not the time, Black Friday or scalability scenarios where like Shark Tank, some people go on Shark Tank, or if you have a big announcement by Oprah's favorite things or something like that. All these are just like Black Friday. Don't try to all of a sudden open up and do Taboola and Outbrain. Let's do that during Black Friday. Why? There's so much other time of the year that you can do that. Why start now? You know, giving your team something crazy to do. Focus on the marketing channels that work and focus on a proven content strategy. If you haven't been using video in your marketing before, this probably isn't the time to try and figure out Adobe Premiere and video editing software and doing video shoots, you know, to really blow it out this year, right? That's not the way to do it. This is not the time to do that. Do that when you're not in a rapid scale environment. Use a content strategy that works, right? And the last marketing tip is scale your ads aggressively, guys. So a lot of folks almost put their energy in the wrong things, right? These marketing channels, they'll be doing email, they'll be doing social media, and they'll just be pounding on it because, you know, they're either afraid of ads, or what usually happens is they just aren't paying attention to ads, right? They don't know how many more ads or how well ads are going to work. So they just don't pay attention. So the ads are just running and they leave a lot on the table because when they look up, oh, wow, you know, we had clients come in that had 12 ROAS during Black Friday. Wow, that's amazing. But how much did you spend? $2,000. Man, imagine if you'd have spent $20,000 out of 12 ROAS. It'd be a lot of revenue you could have made. So with this one, it's not a matter of what you should do. It's what you should not do. You should not be timid and scared with your ads. If you've got a proven offer, you've got a solid marketing channel that's worked in the past, and you know the content that you're putting on that channel is going to convert because it's worked before, you need to pour every dollar you have available of cash into your ads because it all has been proven to work. So use it. And then once you start getting that going, what's going to happen is you're going to hockey stick your revenue chart. You're going to go from making one, you know, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, you know, 10x, right? Very, very quickly. So you need to be ready to handle that order volume. So here comes the ops pillars of scalability, right? You're going to focus on your proven best sellers, right? And when you know what those are, like I talked about having 10 products, but 2 of them sell the most, you don't want to be focusing on anything but the ones that sell the most, because if you do, you're going to run out, and all these ads that you're scaling aggressively are going to be taking people to product pages that don't have product on them or are out of stock. So the worst thing to have happen is you've ordered a whole lot of variety, but you're low on the stuff that people really have proven to want. So focus on them and then forecast for that, right? Once you know what your best sellers are, as well as the rest, you want to forecast all of them. You want to forecast your inventory, your orders, and your tickets, right? So this will help the customer service team. This will help the shipping and fulfillment team because they'll know how many orders are coming in, which they can back out how many units that's going to be and how much shipping they're going to do per day. And it's going to help out your inventory teams because they're going to know how much they should order. If you say, hey, look, we're going to make 200,000 this December, well, how much does that translate to in revenue, but in orders, inventory, customer service tickets, right? Do this in advance. This is such a simple thing that I'm always amazed at how life opens up for people when they do it, right? I'm amazed at the shock that people have after this is done. It seems daunting, it seems hard, but it's just a little bit of math, right? Which we can show you. But once you do the math, it is so liberating to see, oh, wow, on this day, we're going to be completely backed up. And then we don't actually get back down in terms of how many orders we have or how much customer service tickets for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And that's where people now can prepare in advance instead of when they're in the middle of it. You know, a lot of people are feeling the chaos because they just failed to plan. You know, there's that saying, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Plain and simple. So forecast these in advance. That's the second ops pillar. Third ops pillar, training. So now you know how many people you're going to need because you know about how much you're going to make. Well, train your people, right? So, excuse me. So actually showing them how to ship faster, right? Especially your inventory teams as well. What we know, one of the examples that we use is our biggest sale promotion that worked well was that BOGO, the Black Friday Cyber Monday BOGO of black and gray. So because we had black and gray and we knew we were going to sell $100,000 worth of these things that are, 20 bucks a piece. So we're selling thousands of these packages. Why not bundle them in advance? We know there's going to be black and gray, or black and black, or gray and gray. 3 SKUs. So instead of having gray and black separate across the warehouse, we put them together in one area. So they were right next to the packing stations. And then we just have those groupings, all black in one bin, all gray in another bin, and then black and gray in packs of 2 already ready to go in advance. And we train them how to quickly print out the labels and slap it, apply it on the package, right? Because we knew in advance what we were going to be doing. And so then we trained people who did just the shipping for that SKU. So we just had a team just on that. So they got really, really, really fast and really, really good at that. And then there were other teams that did everything else, right? So we trained them extremely well. And then for customer service, we delegated that, right? With FAQs, right? So for owners, entrepreneurs, one of the most incredible feelings is when someone says something nice to you through customer service. However, one of the worst feelings is when someone is horrible to you during customer service. So I always recommend, as the founder, you need to be building the business, running the business, delegate customer service. The immediate pushback to that is, I've got to train someone who's going to do it. What I always recommend is this: have an FAQ, have an SOP, which are one and the same thing. And it's a simple thing. We make this too hard. From now until for the next month, and if you're doing your own customer service, just copy and paste every question you get, and then what your answer was to it. So as you're replying to someone, copy and paste that answer into a spreadsheet, right? Then you'll have a bank of questions, bank of answers. At some point, clean it up. You'll start to see patterns, which ones repeat. You will have built your FAQ, your SOP for customer service. I will tell you what you'll notice: 60% of the questions that we get as e-commerce entrepreneurs are exactly the same, not just within the business, but across businesses, across clients, across industries, across niches, across products, because we have the same business model. Where's my stuff? When is it going to get here? Can I get a discount, right? These are the same things people want to know. They want to get their orders in. Therefore, you should have these ready to go. And that will allow you to delegate very quickly. And if you don't have it, have a list like this. We have one with over 100 questions where you just switch out your company name. It's ready to go. At the end, I'll let you guys know how you can get that if you want it. But yes, these are the 8 pillars of scalability, that if you focus on these 8 things going into Black Friday this year, you will be successful. I promise you. You will position yourself to make the most money from Black Friday. Okay. So let's dive in a little bit deeper on some of these, right? I won't be able to go into all of them, but I can definitely give you some tips for some of them. So identify bestsellers. Sometimes people are, all right, what are the bestsellers? Like, how do I figure out what those are? Well, this is how I like to use a Pareto principle. Look at your revenue. If you did $100,000 in sales, look at every product, and Shopify has reports for this. Export all your products by how much they sold and sort by how much they sold, which one sold the most or the least. And just look at, what 80% of your revenue, just start to sum from the top to the bottom of quantity, which ones represent 80% of your revenue, right? You'll start to see patterns. This should, for most of us, there's usually a very small handful of products. We had a client that has over 5,000 SKUs, but really only 100 of them were selling 80% of their revenue. Why bother with the other 4,900 SKUs, right? I would even go so far as to recommend get it off the website, right? So 80% are selling the most. Those are the ones you need to focus on, right? That's how you would do it. Okay. Offers, proven offers. What do I mean by proven offers? For a lot of people, they get confused about, how do I get my offer? What should my offer be? Or they overthink it. I tend to just lean on one major principle, and then some other smaller principles. The first one is volume-based versus discount-based, right? I don't really like 10% off, 25% off, 30% off as much. I'll use it, for like the email signups and whatnot, but I usually would like to give people more rather than less. The key principle there is I want to find people who are not looking for discounts. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't like to discount my brand. I don't like to discount my brand. This is a great way to build the brand without discounting, right? And have the same effect as a discount without having to devalue the brand, right? Give them more, or give them a gift with purchase, right? Volume discount. So, get 10% off if you buy 3, or get a extra something or other if you buy 5, right? So gift with purchase, volume-based discounts are phenomenal. The other thing about this too, with proven offers, when I say proven offers, I'm not just talking about the type of promotion, right? Volume-based promotion versus discount-based promotion. I'm also talking about the fact that there are certain days of the year that people just buy. So be ready for them, right? So Small Business Sunday, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, these happen at the same time every year. Every single year, we know these are coming in advance, but so many people are surprised. Oh, do we have an email for Valentine's Day? Do we have an email for Christmas? Do we have an email for New Year's Eve, right? All of these are potential times where you can make an offer or push your same offer, your volume-based discount, out to your audience. Please don't miss out on them. Right now, we are already making emails for Q4 for all our clients, right? It's going to be done in advance and approved, so they don't have to think about, oh, what promotion are we running for Halloween? What promotion are we running for Thanksgiving? What promotion are we running for Christmas, New Year's Day? What are we going to run? Let's just make those right now. So by the end of October, all that's going to be done, and they'll have their emails and ads and creative all done for the year, right? All they have to pick is what promotion they're going to make. And usually the promotion, we've already run it for them over the summer or Q2 or last year. We already know, because we're not going to try something new. We're going to try a new promotion. We're going to try a proven promotion. Other types of promotions that work really well are simple things, right? That don't have to be massive discount-based option. Early access, a VIP sale, right? You can give people access to you, or have a small group, right? A group or a gift guide, right? Buy the set, complete the set. These are things that allow you to sell more without giving a discount. And more importantly, they raise your average order value. That's the other major principle that I learned the hard way about discounting and promotions. Volume-based promotions that allow us to increase the average order value do everyone better, right? Everyone is just better off by doing that, by selling more. You just make more money. That means, because if you're getting $20 per customer acquisition as through your ads, well, if you discount your product and you were normally getting $40 in revenue from that average order value, that's only a 2 return on ad spend. Well, if you give a 10% off coupon or a 30% off promotion, guess what? You're still paying $20 or more, because now is Black Friday timeframe, to Facebook ads to get your customers, but you're making less than $40. What's that going to do? That's going to squeeze your margins. The ideal scenario is to increase that $40 average order value, so you make more money on the same ad spend costs, right? Improving your return on ad spend. Okay. Proven customer service. I already touched a little bit on this, so I'll push fast, is simply make that FAQ, right? The FAQ right now, if you take nothing else away from me from this meeting, go start documenting questions and answers that you've been asked, especially if you're doing it yourself. Now, even if you're not doing it yourself, you have a team, have them document it, right? Because that allows you to bring on new people. And more importantly, if you don't want to bring on new customer service people, remember how I talked about customer service is going to spike. We know that happens. Well, you may not want to bring on an entirely new person, but you can bring on the CEO, the COO, your friends, your family, to help you just for the day. And they're not going to spend the whole day asking you the question that was just asked to them, right? Which normally happens, right? They sit down and say, oh, what do I do? And then come to you, and that didn't take work off your plate. It just added work to your plate. They're just a telephone. They're pass through, asking you the question the person asked. Well, if you have this FAQ ready, they can help themselves. They can answer questions for your people. Just pop in for an hour a day, pop in for half the day, whatever it may be, and you won't spend all your time training them. They'll be able to work autonomously. Okay, very important. Okay, one last success story I want to talk about with these systems, in case it hasn't been drilled in enough. Rapid scale is repeatable, right? That is our focus here. That's what I'm teaching you guys to do today. And it happened with us. It happened with the hair care client. Now the candle client, right? They showed up, and this wasn't even Black Friday. They came to us trying, their stated goal was, we're doing about 10 to 30K a month. It depends on the month. For the last several years, they've been stuck. And they're like, look, we heard you talking about you can help people get from six-figure a year to six figures a month. How do you do that? And I said, well, our systems, what I just told you guys, the 8 pillars, show them how to do it. So we began implementing, right? They said, we're making candles in our kitchen. They were literally making them in their kitchen, and they couldn't scale, and they were overworked, and they were just trying, right? This was after Q4. We went through the exact same process as the hair care client. We went through the 8 pillars. We showed them how to focus on a proven offer, all the exact same stuff. And the proven promotions, proven channels. We helped streamline their operations, get them into a co-packer where they could scale because they realized they didn't have enough capacity. Remember, I told you to calculate your capacity for your customer service and your fulfillment. They saw that number and were appalled at how low their capacity was. And that was why they kept getting backed up. You can't keep up. So they went with a co-packer, and that pushed them into it so they can increase their capacity. They could ship a lot more. And guess what happened when we fixed their marketing systems that for scalability, and we fixed their ops systems for scalability? They sent me this message, and it says, Emmanuel, we took a family ski trip this weekend. Just wanted to let you know that you and your team helped make this possible. Thanks for the encouragement about creating the business and life that I want to lead and live. And that's what we're all about here, right? Because I could sit here and give you a whole bunch of tactics for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And if you want that, like I said, at the end, I'll give you, you can call me, I'll tactic you to death, right? I'll give you all kinds of tactics, ideas, strategies, marketing hacks that will help you scale revenue. But all of that to me is a moot point if you spend your entire day shipping product, or if you completely run out of inventory, or if you get so many orders that it takes you the next 3 months to dig out of orders, so that you're dealing with customer service headaches and people cussing you out over email and chasing you down and showing up at your warehouse, asking you where their product was and demanding to sue you and serving you papers. Trust me, everything I'm telling you, I've seen. It has happened to me. I don't want you to have to go through that. I want you to have a scenario like this, where in February of 17, these folks were, no, it was 2021. These folks were able to actually take a vacation after the holidays, instead of what they normally were doing, which was getting caught up from the holiday season, trying to ship out their candles and dealing in their warehouse and making candles in their kitchen. They were able to take a vacation for the first time. That's what I want for you. So, as a reminder, this is what we're all about as we come to a close. What I want you guys to remember, besides the 8 pillars of scalability, is that scalability comes not from what we're able to try, but what we're able to repeat. That's the key. And I want to thank you for your time. For those of you that stayed and that are available or want to reach out to me and actually go through this, I know this was very fast. I only have 45 minutes to go through it, about 45 minutes. I want to offer you guys a free session where we just get on. I'll talk to you about your specific brand. I can't cover everyone's brand because everyone's operations are different. They run them differently. But if you want to hop on the phone with me and create a strategy session, well, we will set up these systems for you. We'll work through them. We'll get your proven processes, your best sellers, your op systems. We will talk through all of those and make sure you are set up for success for rapid scale Black Friday, and identify any problems. Remember, we've served over 50 brands, and we've done this hundreds of times, analyzing it. We can, in literally a half hour or less, come up with what your bottlenecks will be that will hold you back from making the most money, and show you what opportunities you might be missing because you haven't worked with over 50 brands. You haven't seen this over and over again. So that's available for you guys if you go to eleyasystems.com/Elana, and I look forward to speaking with you all. I'll open it up for questions now.
Love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a couple of questions myself, but if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we'll be able to go through them for you. I did want to make a quick comment too. I loved that at the beginning you talked about how you tried the 12 days of Christmas promotion, and that is a really popular promotion that people will try to do. And I love that you're like, this is creative and fun, it's going to work. And you're like, nope, didn't work.
Nope.
Just kidding. And I think it really reminded me, there's a saying of clear copy wins over
Yeah.
clever. And it really reminded me of that, where it's like, you could try to be clever. You could try to come up with these brand new ideas every single year, but man, that's exhausting.
Mm.
But really, like at a time like this, where it is going to be the hardest time of the year for you because it's so much is going on, that it's better to have those tried and true campaigns that you know how they work, and you know the demand that it's going to take on your team. So I just love that you kind of shared that with us. It was really, really
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. And you caught the core message, right? Because that was the biggest lesson I've learned. When people ask me, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in business, is double down on what works.
Yeah.
You know, we literally, as entrepreneurs, we get shiny object syndrome. You know, we bounce from thing to thing to thing. We read a blog post or we go to a conference. Oh, let's try this. When in reality, there's something there that's been working this whole time, right? And we just missed it because we're so busy trying something new. I'll give you oh, sorry, was there I have a quick story on that.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Quick story on that is that's literally, I had my mentor back in I can't remember the year, but either way, I was literally like, hey, we're trying Amazon ads, we're trying Etsy ads, we're trying Facebook ads, Google ads, we're trying this, we're trying that, trying all these different things. And, you know, and she was asking me, well, how is it working? How is this one working? How's that? And I was like, yeah, we're trying all these things. They're not working. I just can't quite figure it out. We tried this influencer thing. Yeah, we sold out of inventory, but they didn't tell us when. She was like, wait, stop. Did you say you tried this influencer thing and you sold out of inventory? I was like, yeah, but it's hard to do. Ads are nice. They're easy. We tried influencer. It was hard. We had to reach out to her. She didn't tell us when it was going to happen. It was, I was so frustrated. She was like, wait, but that has worked better than everything else. Why don't you just do that a lot more? All these things that you're frustrated with, fix them and make it scalable. And for a whole year, that's all we did. We worked with over 300 influencers that year. We just made a process around it and we just doubled down, quadrupled down. And I mean, hundreds of influencers work. And that's how we got to our first 84K month, right? This was early in the business by doubling down. So these lessons of focusing on what works, we always miss it. It's just sitting there in the business. And usually when people get on a strategy session with me, that's kind of what we end up doing. I literally am just feeling out what has worked and then showing them how to do more of that. And that's usually enough. And they can go from 10K to 100K a month. We've seen it happen over and over again.
And I do think this kind of leads into my question, if I will. So I also think that there is definitely a time to try new things and to be adventurous and trying a new campaign. But probably, I think what you're saying, if I can interpret it, is that not during the busiest time of the year. Is that what you would
Good point.
say?
Yeah, I would, two parts to that. One, I would say during the bit, if you know you're going to rapidly scale, do not try something new. Don't bother. You're just going to be adding because you already have the work of more work, right? You have more orders, more customer service. So just keep it as simple as possible. Things that you can control, keep them under control, right? When you start adding new things that you never tried before, now you have the work of more orders and you're doing this. Oh no, is this working? Why isn't that working? Who set that up? Oh, let's get that developer that did that thing. And like, right, like it's chaotic, right? And around the times when you're not scaling, what was I trying to say? Times when you're not really rapidly scaling, those are the times to try something new. So you have time and energy to develop them. But the second piece of that is don't miss out on what's working, right? So the whole idea of we need to try something new comes from a place of an incorrect place, if you ask me, right? If you are already in business and you're already selling, there are things in your business that are working really well. Sometimes you have to hunt to find them, but maybe you called a couple people and while you were on the phone with them, you sold more product. Well, guess what? Phone sales may be great for you. Do that. If every 100% success rate every time, but I've only done it 3 times, then do it 300. You'll make a sale every time, right? Those are the kinds of things we miss. You know, another big one is email. I'm like, how often do you email? Oh, I email once a quarter. Oh, I'm scared to email. And they're focused on open rates and stuff. Like, well, did you miss the fact that you said every single email you sent makes money? Who cares how hard it is? Just double it. Just instead of once a quarter, do it twice a quarter. And if that continues, keep doubling it till you get to 300 times until it starts diminishing. But little things like that, that's what we should just repeat what works. That's how we scale.
And I think this ties into Katie's question too. So I'll ask this one. Katie says, how would you recommend that a company that has only focused on organic social start and scale ad spend?
I love it because it's the opposite. You're trying something new, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is good. It's like, ooh,
I
but you're
get it
doing it.
though.
I get it. Well, this is the time to do it. So she did hear me on the fact that this is not, Black Friday 2022 that you're asking this question, which is great. You shouldn't launch it then. You should do it times like now. So simplest way, easiest way. I don't know if you're using Klaviyo, if you can put yes in the chat, but I would say start. Klaviyo makes it super easy. Take your people who have purchased already and wonderful. So you're on Klaviyo. Just take your list and sync it over to Facebook, right? Create one ad from a post. If you focus heavily on organic, first of all, I should say, well done, because brands that have grown through organic social, organic SEO are always the best brands for ads. Why? Because you've already got a proven process, proven content, proven offers, proven system, proven audience, especially if you have an email list, which allows you to do what I'm saying now, which is use your existing customer base, sync it over to Facebook, and do a lookalike audience, right? You can do the same thing on almost all the platforms, TikTok, Google won't let you do it until you've spent some money, but all the different ad platforms, I would just take your existing audience and build a lookalike. Now, a lot of people argue since iOS 14 that it's not as effective. I would argue back is it's more effective than doing interest-based targeting. So that's your targeting. And it also allows you to not have to do interest. Like, people ages this and that, and who are into gardening, and that's really hard stuff. I want to keep it simple for you. And that's what you asked, right? How would you simply start? I would take my audience, build a lookalike that handles my targeting. Then, because you focus on organic, you know what works content-wise. Take your best performing post and use that as an ad with a call to action to your best performing offer or product. Keep it simple. As long as you're getting more than a 2 return on ad spend, because remember, these are new customers. So I'm willing to spend to acquire a new customer because I'm assuming people buy repeatedly from you. So if you can get that first customer, even if you break even, if they buy one more thing from you, you made money, right? And my goal is to get 3 sales per year from my customers. That's why I push hard on email. So that way I can spend up to break even on, if I'm making $40 on that sale, I'm willing to spend $40 on customer acquisition. I don't mind to scale my ads aggressively then. So remember, to get started, use your targeting is your existing customer base, or you can download it from Shopify. If you're not, for those of you not using Klaviyo, just download your customer list from Shopify, push it over. If you don't have a customer list, just people who follow your social media, friends of the page, friends of my Instagram page, friends of my Instagram page. Focus on those people, and then what are you going to send them? You're going to send them content that are posts that have worked, and you're going to link to your offers that have worked the best. That's how I would get started with ads.
Is there any level expectations, I guess, if you will, for Katie that maybe she should be aware of, in that if she were to start promoting right now, you might run into people that are like, ooh, I'm going to keep this in mind for the holidays. I don't want to buy it right now. Have you seen that, where like if folks start to promote their ads in October, that maybe it pays off down the road? Have you seen that more often than not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've seen, I wouldn't, it depends on the offer. Sometimes if you do it right, like we'll start cranking ads up now to get people to buy for themselves now, and then we'll do gifting messaging later. But the way, if you're noticing that happening where people are just, what you'll see is people like saving the post quite a bit, and you'll actually see that behavior. Or they wish list, if you have a wish list on your site, if you're saying that, then give them an email offer, send them some content on a gift guide, right? Download our gift guide, give me your email, right? Give me your SMS. Try to get as much points of contact from them as you can, because what will happen is, what you've spent money on ads to reach that person, they got excited enough to be on your wait list. However, they're not buying yet. So you don't want them to forget about you. So you want as many different ways to contact them as possible. Get them on your email list, get them onto SMS, so that when it comes to Black Friday and you send out your offer, you can hit everyone on SMS, on email, social media, as ads. You blast it out everywhere. So yeah, that's a good point.
Right. Jan has a couple questions. I'll start with the first one.
Sure.
Can you go into the types of ads you typically run, platform, content, objective, conversion to scale, videos, and ad forms for retargeting, or just statistics, etc.? That might be a
It's a
big,
broad one. That's a
yeah.
very big question. I will rapid fire this one. I think I can do it. The thing I will say is, even if as I answer it, it's going to be very generic. However, Jan, if you want to take me up on the call, we can do it for your business specifically. It won't be as generic. and I'd be happy to talk to you about your brand. So types of ads we typically run. So I do image ads, carousel ads, as well as video. I focus primarily on video. And when I have my video ads, and my video ads are different sizes, we have aspect ratio. So 9:16, 16:9, this is like YouTube video versus TikTok video, and then square. Square is the one I use the most because that works on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and Facebook. They really like square, and a little bit of 4:5, but to me, I just square is good enough. Then the horizontal is more for YouTube and your website, like the About Us page, and different parts of your website, which can just be embedded from YouTube. And then the vertical is specifically TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels, right? So those are the platforms, the types of videos. I like to have a mix of video. So there's different types. There's pillar content, then there's performance content, which is direct response. The pillar content is things like who we are, the products that we make. They're all about us. Look at me, the brand. We're such an amazing brand. Most brands stop here. They have good images, good videos that talk about who the brand is, but they don't have the opposite, which is why the brand solves problems for customers, who the customer is, right? So you should have videos that are related, more direct response, that are problem solution. If you're struggling with this and you're this type of person, then you should try this solution. Oh, by the way, we happen to sell it, right? Because that's what allows people to connect with you. So a simple format, it's called problem, agitate, solution. You can just take the products you have, do a quick voiceover. If you're really on a budget, just open up Zoom like this or Loom, hit record, and just have images of your products and you holding them up. If you use this product, if you have this problem, but start with a problem, that's what connects, a problem or a result that they're looking for. If you want to be better this way, that's what hooks people, right? Then you need to do this, get an emotional tie-in, and then present a solution, and then your solution. That's the type of content. The objective I use is always sales, right? I always am selling when I use my Facebook ads, because the pixel will learn. And a lot of people were like, oh, you need to warm up the pixel. I'm not as big of a believer in that. I think the algorithms are smart enough to not warm it up. But if you are going to warm up, video view objective is great. And to be honest with you, I like page post engagement, because the better you can get engagement on your posts, the more the platform will push that ad, which will see more people at a cheaper rate, which means you get cheaper CPMs, cheaper costs. And then I definitely do retargeting anytime I'm doing any prospecting. To be honest, if I'm running just one campaign, just starting, I just have a broad. I don't even do any targeting. Remember the lookalike thing I said before? I don't need to do retargeting, it's built in. But once I start getting bigger and bigger, I want to separate out my retargeting from my prospecting, because prospecting is always going to do much worse than retargeting, because retargeting is going to people who already know about you. So I like to split it out to really see how much is my prospecting costing me.
And you started to talk on this a little bit. Can you go into some advice on how to best retarget website traffic for non-customers and on email list using Facebook? I'm
Sure.
abbreviating that question because it's a long question, but
Sure. The simplest way is to just do website clicks. So make sure you have your pixel on your site, have your pixel on the site, make sure it's working. Then it'll be tracking all website visitors. So you go into your ad set for a campaign, create campaign, give it a name, an objective, conversion objective. And then at the ad set level, simply look at everyone who's clicked in the last 180 days. Nice big broad audience. That's the maximum amount of time. And then that's going to be everyone. Then what you want to do is exclude people who have purchased, because you don't want to go after customers in that group. This is just people who have not purchased and the last, say, 30 days, or you can do 180 days if you want. Then no customers from the last 6 months will be in. So that's now people who have been to the website who have not already bought would be the retargeting list. If you wanted to get even more granular to make sure people that haven't also joined your email list, you can upload your email list. So people who haven't purchased or people who haven't been added to your email list will be excluded from that. And you would just have people that clicked and haven't converted in that audience.
one thing too that made me think about this as we were talking, there's an app called Repeat Customer Insights, and one of the things that they offer is the look into which products lead to repeat customers. And so that it made me think of this. I'm sort of backtracking a little bit, but as you were talking about, which products you should be promoting during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, these are your top products. You can also look at it in a way of which ones lead to the most repeat customers. And I think that would be another unique way of highlighting, especially if you have multiple products, like you have to pick one or two, which one do you focus on? Might be another
100%.
good way of doing that. And
Absolutely.
Jan just clarified her question as well. With iOS, it is not difficult to retarget folks. Is it not difficult to retarget folks if they have only been on your website? I
This
did
is
want to make sure we talk about that.
good. This is a great question because this is the iOS 14 stuff. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Really remember what iOS 14 is. It's the Facebook app on the iOS device is not sending the data once they leave the app to go to your website. So basically, iOS is saying you can't just get all the data from everyone on the phone. That's cheating. You know too much about people. So it's only getting a certain few amount of events, visited websites, purchased, there's just a few of them, which you can configure, right? And if you need help configuring it, like I said, let me know. But that what is actually making it difficult to retarget is Facebook knew way too much. I mean, the example I like to hear is that people would say, because you had maps on and you went to go visit your friend for lunch, and then they had maps, the maps on. Facebook knew that you were having lunch together, and the calendar app showed that there was an appointment. Your phones are detected next to each other, and you were browsing the web while you're talking to your friend. Well, guess what? If you're talking about a couch, right? You guys were showing each other Amazon reviews for this couch or looking at a website. Now guess what kind of ads you're going to see? You're going to see couch ads everywhere. And a lot of people thought, oh, they're recording our conversations. They're not recording a conversation. Worse, they're using the data on your phone. So a lot of that started to go away. So it has become not necessarily more difficult to retarget, but more difficult for Facebook to know who's ready to purchase than before, right? That's the difference, because before, now they've heard you talking about couches. What are you most likely in the market for? Couches. Now they don't know that you guys were talking about couches. So now it's more so the objectives than the retargeting, right? Which people who can purchase, people who will click, who will do a behavior. That's what they don't know how to do as well. So it's harder to convert in general.
Yeah, I was going to clarify that too. It's not that it's harder to retarget. It's just you may not be exact and you may not know everything there is to know about that person, but you can still retarget people. It's not impossible to do. It's just they made things a little bit more complicated at times, depending on how you're doing it.
They just have less data. I mean,
Yeah.
people wonder how much data they have. Just think about how much data you have to know that if I just have an image of this product, that Alana is the person that I should put the ad in front of and not Jan, because Alana has how much data would you need to know, right? And that's what we were doing. We called them DABA, where dynamic ads brought audiences. It was a strategy where you would just take your catalog, upload it to Facebook, and it would take your product images and then go broadly to their 300 something million customers in the US or people in the US. And it would know based on just your image who to put that in front of. That means they need to know what you like, what you don't like, what you're into, what you're not into, what you're currently, and then know where you are currently. Are you ready to buy? That's like Big Brother level amounts of data, right? Like that's cheating. They knew too much. And guess
I
what? They
feel
didn't
like we
share that
could,
with you.
yeah, I feel like we could have a whole topic just on the creepiness of
Yeah.
what people might know about you.
It's absurd, right? Like, and so that's what's happening. And so as much as an advertiser, it's like, oh, that's frustrating. My ads are not doing as well. As a human being, I'm grateful for it. It's just scary.
Yeah. Okay, I did put the link in the chat for everyone, and it'll also be included in the recap email. But if you do want that one-on-one session from Emmanuel, thank you so much for the offer. I think that's a great offer. Feel free to follow the link. And thank you so much, Emmanuel, for being here. This was fantastic. And thank you to those who attended. I'm really grateful for everyone for being here. And I think that's a wrap for 2022. So we will see you all next year. So thanks so much.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.